dodge, behavior, and victory.
So you're a new player to Remnant 2, and your goal is to stop getting shredded by these bosses and enemy mobs. Well, to do that, you need to learn effective tips in order to help you become an elite gaming pro. This is everything you need to know and how to do it in just 5 minutes. First, I want to talk about some combat techniques. One, you're going to want to be able to master the dodge. Remnant 2 doesn't actually have much in terms of defense for your character. Well, your armor does help negate some of that damage, and higher health allows you to be able to take a beating. These things aren't the only thing that's going to really help you. Dodging is going to be that most universal tool to really help you with most attacks and avoiding. Second, melee combat in this game is king. Melee combat may actually seem a lot more dangerous, but is actually really effective at dealing a lot of damage, and you actually don't get that much ammo in this game to be able to use. Running might be your best option in some situations. A lot of times this game is full of lots of monsters and lots of enemy mobs that can catch you off guard. So while exploring, don't feel bad if you have to, turn and run away from a bunch of monsters that just might be coming after you. It's okay. I'm sure you probably see it again. It's all right to run around. And lastly, as far as combat techniques, you have a primary and a secondary archetype that you're able to actually unlock. So after unlocking your secondary archetype, you can equip both your new one and the old one with a huge selection of archetypes to choose from. You can have many different combinations to try out. So it's really important to determine which of these archetypes is going to be your main one or your secondary one. You can actually pick it on your character's screen, and you'll have access to its prime perks, which is super powerful. So it's important to make sure that you have the right one active. Next, I'm going to be able to help you understand and master your equipment. So Remnant 2's battles oftentimes make a lot of things happen all at once, and sometimes you need to pick up ammo in the middle of a fight and just keep it pushing. There is an option in the settings for you to click auto dismiss item prompts, so that way it automatically dismisses anytime you pick up random loot, so that way you don't get checked and hit because you're trying to get out of that animation. Watch your armor's weight. It's really going to help you out, because no matter what's going to happen, you're always going to get hurt while you're wearing armor if you get hit. So some heavier armor does exist, but just because it makes you take less damage doesn't mean that it's going to be the best for your dodges. So make sure you always checking out that weight, because you want to make sure that dodging is that superior method for you and is never hindered. The next thing is you want to make sure that you actually mod your weapons. So finding the right weapon is actually going to fit your playstyle, and that's very important. However, it's just as important for you to find the right mod for whichever weapons you decide to use. These weapon mods are created using items dropped from bosses and can easily be swapped on and off between your weapons. So try out different combinations to figure out which ones work best for you and for your fighter or your archetype. Next, you want to work on perfecting your relic, which that relic is one of the most important tools that you can have. No matter your archetype, your relic will always be your go-to source for healing, and you can also be able to upgrade it and make it more efficient for you. So sometimes it's just as simple as increasing the amount of times you can use it, or switching out some of the starting relics with other ones, or be able to give and find some of those cracked pieces that you can use. Finally, upgrading your weapons. Make sure you do it. In War 13, there's a blacksmith named Wriggler, and he'll actually help you upgrade your guns and melee weapons with the materials and scraps that you find throughout the game. With those materials to upgrade your weapons, you can constantly find them in the game. So remember to constantly go back and check in with him each time you can, because there will be a nice fat notification that says upgrade weapons whenever you need to. Next, I want to give you a couple of exploration tips. Remember to always check around Ward 13. And while you're in the world, explore. There's lots of things to collect, and there's also certain areas where you go to that is strictly only for just loot. So you can find lots of different things in this game. And I will tell you, also, this game is not linear, so you'll be able to find different things from different places than other people will if they're playing the same exact game. Finally, some overall game tips. Always keep your ears open. Remnant 2 actually has a lot of different audio cues, that you can use to kind of know what you're about to face or what's around when it comes to chess and things like that. So keep the volume up and really listen out for some of these special sounds, because it might help you out when a large enemy is about to come out. Utilize the consumables. There is a slot that you can be able to use for quickly when it comes to these consumables, and some of these status effects in this game can actually leave you devastated. So while preparing for a boss, make sure to bring extra consumables with you. Prioritize your traits so that way you can use the best build for yourself. There's tons of trait points that can be found while you're exploring a game, so don't worry too much about using them right away. Just worry mostly about putting them into the right traits. Find your perfect weapon. Remnant 2 will give you a wide range of weapons to use, and each of them are effective in their own way. So after you find one that you like, really focus on upgrading it to make it much more effective. Melee weapons also range greatly in attack speed and damage, so try out a bunch of different ones just to figure out how you can maximize your efficiency. Thanks to Joshua Leeds over at DualShockers.com for compiling this amazing list that here we at Charming Unlimited approve of. We are obsessed with casual gaming. We've covered titles like Elden Ring and Only Up from the beginning, and we know what it takes to master a new game. So trust me when I say that our videos will be a lifesaver for you all. So I highly recommend you press this button, or at least the one with my face on it. And if you want to learn more about Remnant 2 and how diverse of a game it is for you, then this is the next video for you.